If I were to meet myself a couple of years ago, before I started this journey, I would recommend first and foremost to master meditation. And after that, I would recommend to read books, to dive into books, to really go through books, essentially, any book. Even if it's true, even if it's not true, you have to have something to compare with. You have to be able to gauge the thing that you're looking for. And so I would recommend discernment. You have A, you have B, A or B is true, maybe not. And then you have C, and then A and B is false, and now C is true. And then you have D, and now A is true again, but B and C is not. So you have to discern, you have to filter. You have to use a form of dichotomy to essentially filter out the things that are not true. The moment you cling on to something or you become biased, then you miss out on everything else that could be true. And just because someone says to you, this is the truth, you have to do this, then it's not really. It's a version of the truth, it's a half truth, it's a rendition, it's an opinion of the truth made by someone. And you have to essentially establish a greater opinion, a greater understanding of what it is. And eventually, I would recommend that you learn about your own mind, that you understand the voice inside your head, and that it is not your friend. That thing is not your friend at all, especially in the beginning. It will lie to you, it will deceive you, it will make you do things, it will make you do evil things and selfish things, and you will believe in that moment, oh, I'm doing this for good, I'm doing this because I feel good. Eating candy feels nice, working out feels bad, so I'm going to eat candy instead. And that's how the mind is. It will tempt you. It will make you fall for your desires. And so you have to filter through your mind. And then when you master your mind, when you realize what you can do with your mind, then your heart opens up. Now you're no longer clogged, your chakras are no longer blocked, your energy is flowing freely. You are understanding Christ consciousness, Bodhisattva consciousness. You are truly seeing your mind with true eyes. And then you open your mind's eye. Now the whole universe all of a sudden fits inside your head, and you can see the universe through your mind. You can go anywhere in the world with your mind and see anything you want to see. It's not just imagination, it's a remote view function, a tool set, the same way that when you're dreaming at night, you are exploring realms, but when you're awake and conscious, you can do the same thing. You can dream while you're awake. The kingdom of heaven is within you. I can see it right now. The same way it looks here with floating islands and clouds everywhere, I can see it clearly. There's buildings there, there's people who've died that are waiting for us, our family and relatives, there's famous people and inventors, there's angels, all kinds of things. It's right there, but most people are blocked. They can't see it because they've never been there, because they don't believe in it, or they don't have proof for it. So I would recommend that you master yourself, discipline yourself. Meditation isn't fun. Just sitting there like, oh, this isn't fun. Why am I here? Why am I sitting here? Sit down and focus on your breath and listen to your heart. And when it gets difficult for you to remain sitting, when you don't want to be there anymore, that's when it begins. That's when it truly begins. And that's when you realize the voice in your head is trying to tell you, you have to go. You have to leave the meditation. Go do something. Go watch something. Eat something. Think about something. And then you're like, hold on, but I'm sitting here. I'm supposed to sit here. I'm supposed to meditate. And then you realize, oh, I'm not my mind. I am the one aware of my mind, etc., etc. So that's the kind of recommendation I have, that be disciplined, study, Be curious, compare things, use discernment, deduction, ask people, and then eventually you will be on the path and you will walk the walk. When I was 4 years old, I had a near death experience. Neglection led to me almost drowning. And in that moment, I passed over. I got to St. Peter, and my guardian angel was there. And he said, "You're not supposed to be here. But now that you're here, let's go inside." For a 4-year-old to see heaven and not be able to remember it for years afterwards, it's kind of traumatizing. And so I had that with me for the rest of my life. The idea, the knowledge of something greater from such a young age, being initialized in crossing over the abyss. And you could say that in that timeline, maybe I died, maybe I didn't survive. But my aunt, she pulled me up, boom, like that, and I survived. And after that, I was special. I was introvert, redacted, a little bit shy. I had seen something that most people wouldn't even believe. Fast forward a couple of years, there was another incident where I was part of satanic ritual abuse by the hands of Freemasons. Turns out that my caretaker had lost his job and he was in a very shitty position. And so he took an offer that he couldn't refuse. The things that I saw in that thing that happened was death. And it was torture. It was pain and suffering. They used a lot of substances that prevented me from remembering it. But the pain was still there. And it led to me developing, I don't know, what you would call autistic symptoms, or being introvert and shy or redacted from society again. And I lost trust in people. I had motor issues. I had problems in school. And the only one that really believed in me or took care of me was my grandma. And after that, I grew up, moved around a little bit, learned how to do things. And then a couple of years later, when I was 22, I was studying etheric and astral projection. I was reading about it. I was doing meditations. And then at some point, I climbed out of my body when I was trying to fall asleep. And I ended up on the floor. And I was now outside my body for the first time in my life, you could say. And another time, a couple of years later, I was resting in a couch and I fell out of my body again. And I was under the table and I was crawling. And then I stood up and then I teleported to a place that looked like the White House or something, with a grass lawn and whatever. And I remember walking out the doors. I was looking up at a night sky and I was just amazed. I was just amazed that the body is so capable of doing these magical things. And since then, I've been teaching people how to do mental astral projection, and I've also been practicing mental astral projection, and I've been practicing lucid dreaming and all kinds of crazy things. So, because of what happened to me when I was young, you could say that I was initiated into darkness by my own father. And then after that, I didn't even remember it. I didn't even know. It wasn't until I was 20, when I started meditating on my own life, that I realized that I had suppressed memories of incidents that happened. And what actually happened was that I was a catalyst for a prospect that almost won the Eurovision Song Contest, and he's now in America. He's a famous singer. And I was his first friend. And my father knew his father, and we used to hang out in kindergarten. And good luck, man. I hope you're making it. I hope you're out there, and I hope you're happy, because what they did to us was very nasty. And then at the age of 25, I had the opportunity to join a fourth way group. And in the newspapers, when I Googled it, it said it was the most dangerous cult ever. And then I showed up. I was there for 30 days. They did some book readings, some sessions, and everyone there was practicing awareness and practicing being present. And after being there for 30 days, I kind of learned everything there was to learn. But I've already studied tons of religion and spirituality at that point, so it wasn't like I didn't actually need it, but they gave me some interesting perspectives. And the fourth way is essentially based on a mix of theology and a little bit of Buddhism and a little bit of Rosicrucianism. There's no ranks, there's no degrees, there's nothing. It's just you are a student, there is a teacher, and they live off grid, and they cook their own food, they grow their own food, they sell jewelry as their main profession, and then all the money goes into one pile for the group. And they live at the school, and they have a house, and they have cars. It's a very nice place, honestly, like a vacation from life. But when I was there, I realized this isn't a challenge. Like living here, away from society, reading books, talking about stuff, practicing presence and awareness, and stuff like that. And then eventually the teacher said to me, if a student so and this, they will be expelled from this school. And I took that as a cue. I was like, okay, sure. And then I did what he said, and then they called me on the phone. And I was like, sorry, I've broken the rules. I can't be part of it anymore. And that's how I moved on from that. But when I was 21, not my first teacher, but I'd say one of my teachers, he was a Mason from Boston. And he was really considerate, and he really tried to help me understand things. And he gave me lots of books, he gave me lots of resources, lots of contemplation. He asked me lots of questions. And then eventually I was brought onto the alchemical path of transformation and the Philosopher's Stone. At one point, I met his teacher, and he gave me his books that he's authored. And so I received essentially 12 books for free. And then after he passed away, I realized that he was me. And I had essentially given myself my own books from a previous life. And that's pretty much the different initiations or esoteric schools that I've been part of. But I've not joined Golden Dawn or Masons or Rosicrucians or anything like that. I'm kind of against the idea of joining certain groups. I've had lots of run-ins with different groups online. I've been harassed by School of Satan, Church of Satan, Joy of Satan people, horrible people, nasty. They try to ruin my reputation. They try to take my clients away from me, and they try to steal time and energy from me. And eventually, after 3 years, I single-handedly just told them off. And since then, I haven't met them. I haven't talked to them. The last thing I heard was that their whole community got destroyed by drama from the inside. So, but I run my own group, and I try to stay away from cultish kind of themes. I think that you should respect the sovereignty and the free will of people. It's about learning things, it's about realizing things, it's about meditation. And you can't really force anyone. You can't force a horse to drink. Like, you have to bring them to the river and then it's their choice. And so I kind of oppose the idea of being part of any kind of esoteric schools. And I don't know if today, if I want to join anything really. The teachers and mentors and guides that I've had over the years have been plentiful. I had my teacher from high school who I didn't really have as a class teacher, but she was on the school and she was doing stuff and she was very spiritual and she taught me how to be present, how to be aware, how to see things from a kind of Buddhistic perspective. And after I graduated high school, we used to talk. I used to come home to her. We used to sit and talk. I used to help her with gardening and I used to help her around the house with things because she is kind of old, but very beautiful soul. And we've had lots of conversations about all kinds of conspiracies and spiritual stuff over the years. And I've learned a lot from her. So I'm really, really grateful for that. I could refer to her as the lady in pink because she will know exactly who she is. I have my uncle, he brought me on a retreat once, but that was a one time off thing. I had my Masonic teacher who probably left Freemasonry or something because he was such a high degree that he realized that all the rules in Masonry is just garbage. So he essentially was breaking the rules for the greater good, and he was teaching me secrets that I wasn't supposed to know about their organization and what they do and their teachings. And I also consider that every person that I meet is a teacher, and I learn from everyone I meet, even if they're not purposefully teaching. I learn from their ways, and so I have good teachers that inspire me, and I have dark teachers that inspire me to not do like they do. Essentially, if I meet someone who is trying to teach something bad, I will realize what they're doing, and then I say, no, you have taught me to stay away from this, and therefore I will stay away from you as well. Thank you very much.